It's KIREI here for Bramble Fox, and I have a brand new scrapbook process video for you using the fabulous Fox box for September. I've pulled out the Worth Remembering Perspective title. It's got the orange tone, you can just see there on the top left. And I've also pulled out Fox Cut Stencil number 143, and this comes with the Fox Box Plus subscription. So I have some photos of my husband Lee when he ran a half marathon back in March, and they've been waiting to be scrapped. So I just thought the title Worth Remembering worked particularly well with these photos. And I have this paper collection here by ColorPlay called Runner's High that I've had for a while. It's just been in my stash. I knew I'd, get a chance to use it at some point. Lee does a reasonable number of sort of 10K runs and the odd half marathon. So, yeah. So I have pulled out the 3 pattern papers here. The yellow one, the background, just has that subtle I love running. I rather like the pattern paper here with the trainers all over it. So I just wanted to add a little bit of that under the torn edge of the yellow background there because it's quite busy. And I do have 7 photos that I wanted to add to this layout. So I didn't want to have something that was going to take away too much from the photos. So I'm just getting those stuck down. The edges, I obviously tore those, and I've just really tried to sort of curl those quite, up to give me that really sort of distressed look. And then I've got my photos that I'm going to mount onto this sort of dark green patterned background. So so the photos basically I've done them in a sort of story, I guess. So the first 3 photos at the top, there's one of us with, it looks quite dark actually, and we were getting a train into London, and it was a very early start, so it did feel like it was the middle of the night, but we were heading over to the London Stadium, the Olympic Stadium, because the run was the London Half Marathon, and it takes them through the Queen Elizabeth Olympic Park. So they don't Lee thought you went into the stadium, which would have been very cool, but you don't. You go around the park. So, so we headed into London, as I say, really early. It was a little bit drizzly, but hey, that's okay. So the first line is really the start of it all. So when he kicks off, and then the bottom row is on his way back around on the run, and then of course when he finished, proudly posing with his medal. So I've got those mounted, distressed the edges obviously, and then I also decided to add a little corner piece, so a little bit more of the pattern paper with the trainers on it, just to create another focal point, because I just wanted to it felt like it needed to sort of balance the layout, and it gave me like a third point in regards to key focuses, and the rule of 3 is quite a sort of a standard design element. So I will have an embellishment over on the left, the embellishment cluster I should say of the left. I've got the sort of title cluster, and then I'll have that one at the bottom. So I pulled out Race Day, and with this collection I literally only have the pattern papers and it's a 12 by 12 sticker sheet, so I don't have lots and lots of embellishments, but that's okay because I'm going to supplement that with some older perspectives from my stash. So what I did do though was bring in the new Fox Cut stencil. This is number 143. That will go with the Fox Box Plus subscription. And if you're not a subscriber, there are 2 options. You've got the regular Fox Box, which you get a monthly delivery of fabulous perspectives to you as I say, each month. I'm repeating myself there, but anyway. And then the Fox Box Plus, it's a bit of a tongue twister, includes the Fox Cut, one of the stencils, and also the paper snips, which is a sheet of like fussy cut elements. But I'm not using any of those on this particular layout because they didn't really go with what I'm scrapping. So I have just pulled out, it's a Distress Oxide in Evergreen Bow, and I'm just adding a little bit of detail there because I felt it sort of just joined up top section with the bottom, so just a little bit of subtle detailing, it's not too much. And then I can actually start to get things stuck down. I sometimes forget I actually haven't got them stuck down, but yeah. With my photos, I'm just adding some foam strips to the top of each of the photo strips, and then they'll sit flat at the bottom. And that way I can layer the photos. But also it works well because often when I'm adding my embellishments at the bottom, I'm going to be layering them over the top. So that means it's flat. So bring in my trusty T-square to make sure they're obviously nice and straight. I am definitely not someone who can just stick things down by eye. I do always have to sort of make sure it's perfect. So yeah. Okay, and then I can get the title stuck down. So I've got Worth Remembering and then Race Day. So got those together. Now I would say with the Worth Remembering, I did wonder that it didn't pop quite as much against the yellow. I think if I'd maybe mounted it on a darker paper and then cut around, it would have worked. Or if I'd had a darker background, it might have been a bit better. But actually, I mean, it looks fine to me. I've got it sat next to me here while I'm, recording this voiceover, and it does look fine. But I just think maybe it would have popped a little bit more on a plain, like a white or a dark background. So now I am just pulling out some of the sticker pieces here. So I'm just playing around with them. And then because they're a whole sheet of stickers and I do like to sort of curve up my embellishments, I am just de-stickering them with my powder brush there. So that's what I'm doing. Yes, I'm just pulling out a little selection of those to go around the photos, but then obviously down in that bottom right cluster. So just pick it. And with all the stickers, there's quite a selection of things for 5K, 10K, half marathon, and full marathon. So yeah, I'll definitely be utilising the paper collection for future photos of Lee when he's doing one of his runs. So yeah. Okay, so I'm happy with what I've was using, so I can now, because I often do that, I find that I just play around with all the embellishments, work out where everything's going to go, and then when I'm happy with it, take a quick photo, and then I can take everything off and I can start to stick things down. So that's what I'm doing now. I've just added some foam pads to the back of the that start there. And then I've got foam pads on the little phrases there. So I'm using rise and run and 1 more mile. And I don't think I added foam pads to the back of or did I? I'm trying to have a look. Yes, I did. I added foam pads to the back of the top of the tag as well. Now my tag is naked right now at the top. I often do this, stick it down, forget to put something through it. But I do add some embroidery thread and I loop it around a number of times just so that there's something through the top of the tag. So I'll do that off camera. You'll see it in the close-up photos at the end. And then I'm just getting my other elements at the top here, and I brought in, you can see in my little tray there, I've got some cameras, I've got some stars, and I've got some gears, and I thought they'd work particularly well on the layout, so I'm just going to add those into my clusters. So I've got the black camera, bringing in a gear, a star. I thought they all worked particularly well. So with the theme of my layout running, yeah. So just going to get those all stuck down, and then that's pretty much it's come together actually pretty easily once I'd figured out what photos I was working with, and because I had a collection that was obviously very themed, it was sort of easy to pull that together. So once I've got those stuck down. I've got the medal over there on the right, one of the stickers. I'm going to add that just below. There we go. I think I'm going to stick it down now. And then I'm going to add some journaling below the photos. I will add some enamel dots as well. So I do that off camera because I thought about that later. But yeah, I think the final layout is going to come up in just a moment. Here we go. There we can see the added journaling and those. Here's the close-up details. You'll see the fabulous perspectives from the September Fox box, and of course the stencil detail from Fox Cut number 143. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.